Welcome to this video tutorial. My name is Axel and I will show you how to build a magic photobook. So I've got a standalone template here in front of me with just one document, one page, and the first thing I will do is I will rename the document to cover because our photobook needs inner pages and a cover. So let me add another document to call it inner pages. I have to set this one to editable as well, and of course we would like to produce the entire book, so I will set that one to production, and I also have to set that one to production. So far so easy. So two documents, one for the cover, one for the inner pages. For the inner pages I will add some, because we would like to have a first and the last page and a number of facing pages, of course, as well. But one spread is really enough because the rest is defined here on the right hand side. At the buyer side settings of the document, we can scroll down to activate the option Book Inside Pages. And as soon as we activate that switch, we have to allow the buyer to add spreads, otherwise we cannot activate the magic photobook option. Here define the min and max number of pages or spreads. Yeah, so at least it will have 10 up to 80, depends on how many images the buyer will load up later on. Because of the fact that we have set that one to inner pages, we've got now for any other document we would add to the template the option available to activate cover and spine. So if I click that icon here, based on our page settings of the inner pages document, Printess will create a cover. So it includes 2 pages of the page size of our inner pages document, plus a spine and 2 hinges. The spine is based on a formula, so you can do your calculations here. This is just an example. I can also start with a bigger spine of, let's say, 5 centimeters, depending on the minimum number of pages I initially allow. That's really up to you. And in this case, we're calculating 2 millimeters to be added per page added. But again, you can define your own formula. If you're struggling, if you have more complex tasks with the spine formula, just let us know. Send us an email to support@printess.com. and we will help you to set up the right formula. In addition, you can define that the cover should be bigger than the inner pages, which is usually the case. So you can add space to the left and right edge and top and bottom, of course. So these are the settings to make it a book, first of all, with a cover. In the next step, we go to the buyer view appearance settings. You can use that gear icon here on the upper right to select that option. Or you can just press the A key, which is far much easier, faster, and you will do it again and again, especially at the beginning. And this is why this is a very helpful shortcut. Okay, now let's activate the magic. And as soon as we do so, Printess is asking for a magic photobook theme. You can't do a magic photobook without any themes. Therefore, you have to define a theme first at the Printess account portal. So I normally go to our website to use the login button here to select the account portal, and then you find the tab Photobook Themes here. And in my case, there are several themes available. On yours, if you're here the first time, it's completely empty. And initially, the first thing you should do is creating a so-called universal theme. I've got already one in place here, so let me remove that one to start together with you from scratch. All the others are not universal themes, but we will explain that in detail in a different video. In the Photobook theme video, we will take a deeper look into the different Photobook themes you can create. So add theme, call it universal, that's fine with us. This is what we need. And by default, there is already a layout snippet tag assigned here. And now these snippets, saved and published under the tag, could now be used to create our first photobook theme. And as you see here, for the cover, I can only use cover layout snippets. So let's go maybe for that one here. I drag it to drop it here at the cover page. I will do the same for the single pages here. Let's say this one and that one. And now I do realize I was trying to put a cover on the first page, and this doesn't work because, as I said, cover for cover, single page for single page, double page for double page. So I have to do it again. And these two page types, the cover and the single pages, are defined for both options, for the Magic Photobook and for the so-called Freestyle book. All these double pages are only defined for the Freestyle book, because part of the rendering of a Magic Photobook is not just to analyze the images the buyer had loaded up, but also to use the right layout snippets to be placed on the double pages. In our case, we would like to prepare both. As it says here, it should be used for AI generated and freestyle books. So for the freestyle, I have to define a number of pages, let's say 20. And now I have to define the order of the layout snippets used for these double pages. I will take that one, this one, okay, that's it. We can select a background. Of course, you can always assign your own text here, but for the universal one, you are absolutely fine to use the default Printess layout snippets here based on these Printess tags. And I will select just a white one because our clients are always telling us at least 60% of their photobooks they produce are looking exactly that way. Not many graphic elements, most purely image frames and a white background. Okay, and this is why we always start with the universal. That's the main reason, because there is a need for it in the market and it's so easy to get started with. So after we have now saved our universal theme, we can go back, and now any new theme won't be displayed here. It's only available for me because I did it before. But if you do changes on the theme, or if you do a brand new theme, you have to reload the entire editor. We don't have the option to update the information from the account portal theme changes to the Printess editor here, as long as this template is open. And this is why I close here, shut that down, open up the editor again to select my Magic Photobook template again. Now press A again to get into the buyer view appearance dialog. And now it's even turned off because I didn't save it. Now the universal theme is really available. And again, if you changed anything on one of your themes, you have to do that procedure. Otherwise, these changes won't be updated into that Printess template here. But this is always only for testing. Later on, you will set the theme you are loading to your photobook through an attached parameter within the load call. Let's save it. And now this message here is displayed that Printess will automatically activate the search bar, image search bar at the buyer side, because of the fact that we have activated the Magic Photobook. That's fine with us. And now we can give it a try. So if we switch to the buyer side, the buyer can decide if he wants to go for an AI-generated photobook or the freestyle version. If I click that one here on the right-hand side, the image frames will all be empty, because this is why it's called freestyle. The buyer can now upload images to distribute them manually on the pages. And now, by the way, I do realize that the backgrounds are not white. They got some dots on it. And if we go back again to try the other version, we can click here to use the AI mode for the automated image distribution. So let's upload some images here to create 22 pages. And as you can see, our first photo book is done. Here we got the image search bar where we got the message after I saved the theme earlier, so that the buyer can search for a dedicated image. And the buyer can rearrange photos. So if the buyer says these two should be combined with the third one, for example, the entire page has to be rearranged because we now need 3 image frames. And that's why Printess is now offering different layouts, all of them using, of course, 3 image frames. Let's go for that one. And this selection here is based on the basic collage image snippets. This is something I didn't explain at the beginning because I wanted to show you that dialogue here first. Now we've got 3 images instead of 2 on that double page. And if we press A again to go to the Photobook tab, I can show you what I'm talking about. These basic collage tags are used in combination with the theme layout snippets for that rearrange page feature I've shown you a second ago at the buyer side. So it shouldn't be empty, and it should include universal layout snippets, which are flexible, which include splitters and things. And this is why you never should change that one unless you are very comfortable with creating your own universal layout snippets. Okay, let's go back one more time to the buyer side, because there are more settings we have to talk about. So far, the buyer cannot change these layouts here. It's really more or less from a layout point of view, a static photo book. We've got that theme tab here activated, and here we see all other themes available on our account, which we do not want in this case, because again, it's a universal book. So we go back here to our template to press A again. And here we do see that the theme tab is activated. I will turn it off here. Okay, to go back again. And now that tab has disappeared. The only thing the buyer can change now is the background. The buyer can change the color of these different elements used in the background. And that's really it. But if you really do it that way, to turn off the theme tab for the entire template, like I was shown before, you do it for the template, which means I press A again now, which means if we turn it off here, it's not available anymore. And we touched it earlier that we are talking about a master here, so it should work for all of our themes, for all of our photo books. And this is why you should keep turn it on to define if this theme option will be shown or not within the themes themselves. So I will save that setting first again, to go back to our account, to open our universal theme again. And here it is showing that the theme selection should be shown. It should show all themes. And if I set it to hide theme selection, I've got the same effect. As soon as I'm working with a universal theme, no theme selection will be shown at the buyer side. If I use the same master template to apply a different theme through the load call, it can have a different setting. Okay, so I press OK here. I go back to my master template, and now I have to reload it because for sure it won't update automatically the setting we have made in the theme. So I reload the editor to load my first magic photo book again, and that's all I have to do. If we now try it again at the buyer side, that tab is still not visible because of the theme setting, not because of the template setting. Okay, so let's go back to the backgrounds again. As I said, the buyer can change color, but not the backgrounds. If you would like to offer a bigger range of backgrounds and layouts for these pages, you can activate first of all the backgrounds here. If we scroll down, I can activate the switch background tab. Now again, it's all preset. You don't really have to care about it. Printess is using now the Printess backgrounds to display them to the buyer as an option. And for the pages, we have to define that manually. So for the single page here of the inner pages, I will add the layout group Printess Book Universal. You can display them here. If you click on Show and Search, you can already have a look here at the designer side, how they look like. And you see most of them here are double page designs. And this is why they are not very helpful here for the single pages. So in addition to the assigned tag, we need a keyword menu. This is called Printess Universal Photobook. And now for the single page, we can turn off all the double page features here. And I will add that now to any page of that document. Okay. Because then I only have to change it for the double page. If we go back to pages, the last page got that setting as well. And the double page, of course, too. So we have to change that from single to double. That's all we really have to do here. And if we now go back to, no, I forgot the cover. Similar for the cover, it's the same tag. So the same range of layout snippets. The only difference is that we need a different keyword menu. Printess Universal Photobook Covers. And as you can see, the topics of the keyword menu do differ from the other one. And this is why we are using a different keyword menu. So let me save that first. To now go to the buyer side, I will go for the freestyle again because it's much faster when you set up things. It's the way to go. So now at the layout tabs, we get these cover designs here to choose from. For the first and last page, we get these designs offered here. And for the double pages, we get different layout snippets displayed here to choose from. Let's check the backgrounds. Oh, we can only change the color of the elements. So it seems like I did something wrong. Let's go back here. Okay, I added. Let's double check here. Okay, I added that background feature with a background tab only to the cover, I guess. Let's have a look here. Scroll. Yeah, okay. That's the issue. I, of course, have to activate it for the inner pages as well. Next try. Choose any double page. Here we go. Here are the backgrounds. And now the buyer is asked if that should be applied to all pages or just the current one. Let's go for the current one. This is covered by an image. So here we've got the background change working as well. And if we do it for all pages, we get it on all pages. So our first photobook is done. But before I say goodbye, one more small but important detail. I'm always switching to the buyer side, and you see that selection here where the buyer can choose if the photobook should be created using AI or if it should start with a freestyle. Also, this setting here is controlled by the theme itself. If we go back to the account to open our universal theme, you see that selection here that this theme should always offer both options. And you can set it to AI wizard only or to freestyle only. Then that dialog up front won't be displayed. It will go straight for the AI or the freestyle book. Okay, that's it for today. I guess that was a lot of information, and this is why we will have another video dealing more with a different kind of photobook themes. Today we did the easiest one, the universal theme, but as you can see here in my account, there are also other kind of themes available. In the next video I will explain how they are built, and we will have a deeper look into the keyword menus and how they work together with these themes, because we use them today, and these Printess keyword menus will be also available on your account, just that they are not visible. And this is why we will cover that in the next video. Thank you for now. See you soon. Bye-bye.